Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's good, everybody? Wake up, rise and shine, get your coffee, get everything going. It's the Coffee and Sports morning show with my boy Mo Better, as always. How you doing this morning, Mo?
Good morning, Coach. A little groggy, but I got it together.
Oh yeah, man. That's how I start off every single morning, the same way, But hey, we up in the morning talking sports. And so let's get right into it. We got the slate of games last night that we went out that we got to go over. We have three playoff games. We have three playoff games to discuss. The Draymond Green suspension as well. We got Giannis is doubtful for tonight. De'Aaron Fox named the clutch player of the year. And Damar Hamlin is cleared to play football, cleared to be back in OTAs. And will the Eagles make Bijan Robinson the 10th pick? We're going to definitely get into that. There's definitely some rumblings about Bijan Robinson and stuff like that. But, hey, we're going to get right into that. So, first of all, we're going to recap the games, all the playoff games that went last night, the slate of games, playoff games. So, we got the Boston Celtics up 0-2, which is to be expected. That was to be expected. Atlanta came out with some firepower in the first quarter. The Boston Celtics ended the first quarter on a blast. Malcolm Brogdon hitting that half court jump shot. Yeah. And that half court shot pretty much gave him a lot of momentum. And after that, as soon as he hit that, the Celtics took the game right over. Celtics shot 55% from the field. The Celtics also shot 45% from the three-point line as well. So when you're shooting 55 and 45% from the three-point line, normally things don't go good. Neither team really got to the free throw line that much. Miami, you had Atlanta out-rebound them by 5. But again, 28 assists by Boston, meaning they were moving the ball around a lot. Everybody was touching the ball. 16 turnovers apiece. You got 64 points in the paint with Clint Capella. They 8 in Boston, 8 pretty much in the paint. And when it comes down to it, man, Boston again too strong. You got Trae Young 9 for 22. Not gonna get it done against Boston. Murray had a solid game, 29 points. He played like his normal self. But Bojan Bogdanovic had 18 points. He was really good last night. DeAndre Hunter was inefficient from the field. John Collins, 2 for 11. On the other side, Jason Tatum, 29 points, 5 3-pointers. Jaylen Brown, 18 points. You had Derek White. Derek White has been on a rampage lately. 26 points, 14 for Marcus Smart. You got his usual self in. You got 13 points off of the bench for Malcolm Brogdon. So, Mo, what you thought about this game last night?
I thought Atlanta played fairly well for the most part. They came out really aggressive, playing really fast. But you asked a question the other day on the show, what could Atlanta do? And we were like, even if they played well and Boston didn't play their best game, Boston would win. And that's pretty much what you saw in game 2. That wasn't the best version of the Celtics. The Hawks played well. I would say this, though. John Collins was 2 for 11, but of his 11 attempts, 7 of those were threes. He's not a three-point shooter. He's not. He can make a three, but he's not a three-point shooter. He needs to get stuff going towards the basket. He should be a finisher. If you're going to give John Collins 7 threes, that works in the other team's favor. They've got to get John Collins, a more aggressive John Collins, to get a win in this series. the Celtics are just deeper. They're just better. You could be more cut and dry. You could say that the Celtics' 2 best players are better than the Hawks' 2 best players.
I mean, that's what it all comes down to. It the Celtics is just no matter what Atlanta probably can throw at them, probably throws at them. They're by far the clear cut better team. And the Hawks played a lot better. They played a lot better than what they did the first game.
They did.
But again, Boston again getting on the run, punching them in the mouth, punching them back in the mouth. And that's just the point of things that Atlanta not recovering from it. And Boston's defense, the way they play defense, gives Atlanta a lot of trouble, and they give a lot of teams a lot of trouble with their defense.
They get stops, coach.
They get stops. That's the main thing. Out of most teams in this playoffs, outside of I can say Milwaukee or Miami, they get stops. Those teams can stop you on the defensive side of the ball. And again, this is a case. We think just Boston, just a way better team, just a way better team in the series, and they got game 3 coming up, and we'll see can Atlanta get a win at home. So again, congratulations to Boston. Let's see can they win in Atlanta, or can Atlanta take home court. So going to the next game where there was a thrashing. We talked about it last night. We talked about it yesterday morning. And he I guess he heard us on the morning show. I guess he responded really well, and he heard us. Darius Garland was the man. Donovan Mitchell. When Donovan Mitchell has 17 points, you're doing something good. You're actually doing something good when this man not having 30 points. And Darius Garland answered the bell, 32 points, 7 rebounds, 6 3-pointers. And Karis LeVert, 24 points, man. Really helped.
That was so big.
That was so big for him. Donovan Mitchell, like we said, only had 17. Evan Mobley had a better second game, 13 and 13. Jared Allen had 9 and 10. But the defense gave the New York Knicks hell throughout that whole game. They were way more physical this time. 49% from the field, 42% from 3 for Cleveland. They out-rebounded New York, which is they didn't do the first game. New York got all of 50-50 balls the first game, and all of a sudden that flip-flop to Cleveland's side. Both teams had a lot of points off turnovers. Cleveland went 29 and 32 for the New York Knicks, and you had 18 turnovers apiece. It was a sloppy half with those 18 turnovers, but the key, Darius Garland, Karis LeVert, that tandem right there had put New York on notice. You had Julius Randle with 22 points. Jalen Brunson had a really off game. They did a good job of pressuring defense and on Jalen Brunson, taking them away. Manuel quickly had 12 points, but other than that, nobody else could get anything going on the offensive side of the ball. So, Mo, what you thought about this game yesterday, Cleveland game?
We got exactly what we thought they needed. They needed an aggressive Darius Garland. We said they needed to go to him early, often get him involved.
Yep.
He rose to the occasion. I mean, he showed you he's a 3-level scorer. He's that talented. And I thought it was interesting that Donovan Mitchell, he showed leadership because he took a step back and he was more of a facilitator, and he picked his spots because he knew that Garland had a hot hand. When LeVert came in, he kind of did the same thing. That's leadership. That's taking a step back going, these guys got it going on, and I'm the one guy on the team that I can get mine whenever I need it. I thought Donovan Mitchell was really good on defense. I don't think people talk about that, but he played really good. The team played great defense, but I was impressed with his defense. I love the activity that I saw from Allen and Mobley. They look like 2 completely different players. They didn't put up big numbers, but they impacted the game with how they challenged shots at the rim, how they rebounded. They were just more active. They were more aggressive. They even got a little bit from Osman. I think that Cleveland is going to make this a 7-game series. I picked the Knicks, but they may very well lose this series. You have to give Cleveland credit for bouncing back and coming back that strong. We can talk about what they need to do, but to be able to turn around and actually do it makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, yeah, man. Like I said, we talked about it yesterday morning, man. Darius Garland needed to be that guy. And you saw Donovan Mitchell clearly took a step back and You even heard the announcement man say Donovan Mitchell talked to Darius Garland saying, "Man, you need to go and be that guy just in case they game plan for me. You need to be the one to step up." And he definitely answered the call yesterday. Karis LeVert was hot from the 3-point line, and like I say, when Darius Garland can do that and break down the Knicks defense like that, that opened up a lot of space for Donovan Mitchell. And Donovan Mitchell was getting wide open shots last night, and you don't normally see Donovan Mitchell get that wide open and shoot the ball, be a catch and shoot shooter, and he done that several times yesterday for the New York Knicks. They got pushed around quite a bit yesterday. The Cleveland Cavaliers were more of the physical team. They were more of the physical team. You saw it pretty much at the end of the game. But we're gonna get in that discussion.
I think the Knicks are struggling too, Coach. RJ Barrett, another game where
that's second game in a row. Yep.
Yeah, where is Barrett at? Quickly, who was a 6 Man of the Year candidate? He can't find his offense, and the way I saw the game, they went to Julius Randle too much, and it was one of them games where he's one of their best players, but he was doing what Donovan Mitchell didn't do. He was forcing things. He was when it wasn't there, when he should have been moving the ball. When Julius Randle catches the ball and he holds it, he makes them so much easier to defend because everybody else is just standing around watching him. He's got to move the ball. They've got to play. He's got to trust his teammates. You've got Grimes. You've got Brunson. You've got other guys who can put the ball in the basket. Maybe there's a game where Julius Randle goes for 30. Maybe he looks around and has a better floor game like Donovan Mitchell, and he goes for 15 or 16, but they win. Like you said, Coach, when Donovan Mitchell can go for 17 points and you win, that's trouble for the other team. That means somebody else like LeVert, like Garland are stepping up.
Yep. And Julius Randle settled for too many down 3-pointers. He settled for a lot of them yesterday. 7 3-pointers. He can make it. Like I said, he can make it. It's not his game. Like I say, no ball moving for the New York Knicks is either Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle. Everybody else just standing around at the 3-point line, just watching them go ISO. And on the other side, Cleveland Cavaliers wasn't doing that. They were moving the ball. They were being more efficient. And most of that, Darius Garland got the team started. With by responding the way they did. But this is set up to be a nice game 3. So again, Cleveland Cavaliers, again, 26 assists. They were moving the basketball around. When you have under 20 assists or at 20, that means you're not moving the ball. In this case, guess what? The Knicks had 16 assists. Nobody's touching the basketball, but pretty much 1 or 2 players. For 26 assists for Cleveland, everybody's touching the ball. Everybody's getting a look, and the ball is moving around. So that was the end. That was that whooping right there. But game 3 may be a lot more closer. But now the Phoenix Suns outlast the Clippers last night, 123-119 in this game. The Clippers got off to a solid start. As normally they were up by much as 13 in this game. And then you had Devin Booker. Devin Booker pretty much happened in the second quarter. 38 points for Devin Booker, 25 for Kevin Durant. Chris Paul stepped it up in the fourth quarter, became Chris Paul. Became the old Chris Paul, started knocking down mid-range jump shot. That was because mostly they were in that crazy old drop coverage defense. Wasn't allowing a lot of comfortable jump shots right there. DeAndre Ayton was money from the free throw line area all night. And when anytime you get 5 threes or 6 threes, 5 threes for Torrey Craig, and he's been hot for the last 2 games. Anytime you get that is really helping him out. Again, I'm gonna say it over and over again. The depth concerns me, but you're getting a lot of production from Torrey Craig. That's helping out very much of a lot, pretty much. But again, the starting 5 is going to have to be relied upon. Kawhi Leonard, another solid game, 31 points. Russell Westbrook, great game, 28 points. Eric Gordon, 12 points in the game, struggled at the end of the game. Norman Powell had only 12, but he wasn't involved too much. He didn't get the ball a lot that much. He had 11 shots, but he was up out of the offense at times. So, Mo, what did you think about this game last night?
I think they almost flipped the script. D Book took the role of Kawhi from game 1. And once Booker got going, it made it easier for Durant to just be off to the side. Durant kind of took the role as the second option because Booker had it going. That wasn't really the difference in the game. I think the difference in the game, anybody watched the game, it was the fact that Chris Paul got going late. He got the mid-range, got going late. That changed the game. That turned the tide. It's one thing to have Booker and Durant putting up numbers, and Torrey Craig. Hey, right now, Torrey Craig is Ray Allen right now. Yep. He's not missing the three. If he's going to sustain shooting that well, this will be a long series.
Yep.
But if Chris Paul gets started, and the Clippers, Ty Lue and company, they have to make a decision, and it should be an obvious decision. We're not going to play drop coverage no more. We're not going to go under, and we're not going to drop and go, well, we'll see if you make or miss the jump shot. If you're going to go drop coverage on Kevin Durant or Devin Booker and Chris Paul, especially in the mid-range, you're going to be taking the ball at the basket a lot. Yep. You've got to switch stuff more. And on Chris Paul, I'd go over. I want Chris Paul to drive to the basket. I don't think he can finish as well. I'd rather him shoot a three or drive to the basket, but don't switch. Don't put Big Z on an island when he's guarding Chris Paul. Chris Paul still can torture a big man in the mid-range.
Yep, he could.
And he wore Big Z out. I thought the Suns' defense was solid, but they got to a point offensively where they came down, coach, and every time they literally said, let's make them switch. They're going to do drop coverage, and they just rolled that throughout the game. And I was a little shocked that Ty Lue didn't make the adjustment. I know he went small at one point, and I thought going small, you can get away with going small against the Suns because Ayton is not some physical Adonis. He's not overly powerful or overly aggressive or physical. You can put Kawhi Leonard on him. You can put Batum on him. I'd rather even have Plumlee in the game because Plumlee is quicker, has better lateral quickness than Z does. Z's a great offensive rebounder, but if you're going to play a game in space, he becomes more useless than Rudy Gobert. He can't play in space.
Definitely. The drop coverage was killing them all night, and you already know if you ain't seen the history of Chris Paul, every time a big gets on him. Well, you should go back and look at some recent history about Chris Paul every time a big man get on him because he always seems, to kind of put him on skates every single time a big either switches up on him. So Ty Lue definitely got to make those adjustments. So I found the interesting stat again. I value this stat. A lot. So I value this kind of stat a lot when I see. Every time I look at the assist numbers, I'm looking at is a team moving the ball around or not. The Suns have 30 assists. What that mean? Everybody was touching the ball. It was a lot of ball movement. And ball movement is key. When your whole teammates, when everybody is touching the ball and that ball is moving, and that means you're getting open shots. You're getting good and you're getting open shots and you're getting any shot you pretty want. For the Clippers, the ball wasn't moving. 17 assists, the ball wasn't moving. Everybody wasn't getting a touch of the ball. Most of the people that was involved in the first game wasn't involved in this game. So, again, they had 15 turnovers last night, and they shot bad. They shot pretty bad from the field. The Clippers shot pretty bad from the field in that second half. And, when you're moving the ball like that and everybody getting a touch of the ball, that's something going right, and a lot of things was going right for Phoenix last night. Kevin Durant didn't have to have this big game; he only had 25, but that's good. When a guy like Kevin Durant only have to have 25,
and not play as many minutes.
Yep, and Devin Booker has 38. Chris Paul gets hot very late in the game, becomes unstoppable, and you getting the production out of you getting from Torrey Craig. And like you said, if he shoots that much like that throughout the whole series, Clippers may be in pretty much some trouble if Torrey Craig can knock that shot down every single night.
To your point, Coach, look, if Craig's going to shoot that way, that's great for the Suns. On the downside, the Clippers need somebody shooting like Torrey Craig. They need somebody. They need Norman Powell to start looking like the guy he did in the regular season. They need him to drop that 18 to 20 a night. He needs to be more aggressive, much like Cleveland with Garland. If you look at this, there's no Paul George. So the secondary scorer right now is Russell Westbrook, and Russ was terrific last night as a scorer.
Yep.
But he's not a natural scorer, so they need Norman Powell to step up. They need more production from him. I think Terrence Mann can give you a little bit more. Like Terrence Mann is a Swiss Army knife; he can do a little bit more. Eric Gordon's shot was off last night. They need all hands on deck because this series right now is really about Phoenix's top heavy starting five, that firepower, versus the Clippers' depth. And I thought the Clippers' depth, they were okay, but they weren't nearly as productive as they were in game one. And you can't expect, you can tell by the way they guarded him, Phoenix is not going to let Kawhi Leonard beat them one-on-one. Like they're being physical with them, but they're also double teaming him every time. I would say when Kawhi catches it, he needs to move the ball quicker. Don't try to beat the double team. Just swing the ball, get the ball moving again. Trust your teammates because Phoenix has made up their mind. He's not going to be the guy that's going to beat them.
Yep. And that's exactly what happened last night. They started doubling, but still able to get 31 points up out of that double and be efficient.
Right.
That's a hell of a lot. That's a lot. That's a hell of a lot scoring right there. But we just found out in the middle of the Phoenix game last night that the Draymond Green will be suspended for game 3. Will be suspended for game 3 from stepping on Sabonis' chest. We will get to Sabonis in a minute. He was questionable for game 3 with a sternum injury pretty much, but I think he probably may play this one out. But with Draymond Green, we talked about it yesterday. No matter how dirty how dirty Draymond Green is, he's valuable to the Golden State Warriors. He is valuable to them. He helps everybody get an open shot, like Steph Curry. When they're moving off the screens, you know how to find people. You know how to find guys on backdoor cuts. He's a perfect fit for their offense because of his playmaking ability, and he gets everybody going as a leader, as another coach on the floor, and he gets everybody going on the defensive side of the ball. So no matter how you slice it, this may be a big loss right here for the Golden State Warriors for game 3. Mo, what you think about it?
Well, he's not just their best overall team defender. He's also the most vocal guy. He calls out. He's the guy that calls out picks, switches. He's their defensive play caller for what it's worth. And offensively, he is their top facilitator. He gets them going. Draymond Green has a unique skill set. He's a power forward who can snatch a rebound and push the ball down court very fast. And his ability to do the handoff to Steph, to Clay, set picks, he keeps the ball and bodies moving. Without Draymond, that's a big loss. Without Draymond, you're going to need Steph to make more plays off the dribble. You're going to need Clay to be more efficient. You're going to need more. Andrew Wiggins has been solid. The only thing he hasn't done well is shoot the 3, but he's been solid otherwise. But they're going to need Poole. I think Jordan Poole has been kind of disappointing so far in this series.
Yes.
They're going to need Jordan Poole to step up and be that third guy, drop 20 to 25. This is all hands on deck for Golden State. I expect them to actually play smaller. I think Jonathan Kuminga is going to get more minutes. What being done by Sacramento is they're doing the hard doubles, they're blitzing, and they're leaving Kevin Looney open in the center, basically daring Looney to make a play.
Right.
Kuminga's a much more explosive player. He can attack the rim, the basket a lot better. So I think Kuminga's going to play more in the Kevin Looney spot. Golden State has nothing to lose. They're down 2-0. No Draymond. They've got to give Kuminga and Moody, those young legs, they've got to get more playing time.
Yep. You got to obviously, if something ain't worked the last 2 games, you got to obviously switch up, change it up in this game. Like if I'm the Kings, though, I'm going to continue to let that happen, though. I'm going to continue to do what I do. If I have to keep playing a box and 1 and making Looney make a play, I will keep doing that. Now, if that was Draymond Green, probably would go a little bit different because he can make a play for everybody. But if I'm the Kings, I will keep playing the same defense that I kept playing, that I played in game 1 and game 2. I will have, if Davion Mitchell was in the game, I'm going to still have him playing 90 feet, tiring out Steph Curry, because now you took the playmaker is gone. The playmaker is gone. The one that can make a play for everybody, he's gone. Now you got Steph Curry can make a play, but he's not that type of guy. He's more of the scoring type of guard. He can get you 6 assists. Curry can get you about 6-7 assists. On a good night, he may get you probably 10, but that's not what he's going to do. And I will continue to ball pressure Klay Thompson. I think the ball pressure on Klay Thompson on the perimeter has worn him down a little bit more. But if I'm the Kings, I'm not changing my coverage. I'm going to keep playing that coverage, whether it's Kuminga or Looney is in the game, and you have to put them in the middle, forced to put them in the middle, and they have to make a play. I keep doing it. And right now, Sacramento got them beat. got them beat down, this is the time to go out there and jump on the Warriors at this moment when they're all broken down and frustrated, and Draymond Green is out at this moment.
Don't forget, Coach, the ball pressure, the unball pressure by Davion Mitchell, what he can do. Because now Draymond's out. Steph is bringing the ball up. You don't think he's going to be on Steph 84 feet? He's going to try to wear down those legs. When you can take away a shooter's legs, those shots come a little short, a little to the right. It's going to take something away from Steph. Look, Steph's superpower to me, it's not just his great shooting. His superpower is his ability to run you all over the place coming off screens. Without a Draymond, he becomes more of a creator. That changes what he does. And if you try to put somebody else in that Draymond role, I don't think anybody else can really replace what Draymond does. They're really going to have to get a big contribution from their young guys. You said it, that they're pushing up on Klay. They're challenging Klay because they know Klay's strength is not beating you off the dribble. Right now, Sacramento's in a really simple situation. They've got to weather the storm in the first quarter. If they can weather the storm in the first quarter and they're even or even ahead coming out the first quarter, I don't know what the answer is going to be for Golden State, because we already know in a close game, we know who the ball's going to for Sacramento. We know what he's going to do. So far, it's been clear. The best player in this series is De'Aaron Fox. And you can make an argument that Malik Monk might be the second best player in this series so far. If they're not going to slow down that duo and control Sabonis, not on the boards, because you're not going to stop him on the boards, but you got to keep him under 20. You need to have him points-wise somewhere where you had him in game one. I thought they did a really good job of making him rush his shots, and he didn't finish as well. But if those three guys are going to play the way they did, and Mitchell can use those young legs and that energy to get up in Steph, I don't really know the formula for Golden State to win. Golden State needs production. They need numbers from Kuminga, from Moody. Really, like I said, they need an aggressive Wiggins. Wiggins is capable. They need an aggressive Wiggins, because I don't think Sacramento is going to let Klay free. Like they're committed to staying with Klay. Give Mike Brown credit. We already talked about this. He was part of that staff. He knows Golden State's personnel in and out. He's told whoever's guarding Klay Thompson, I don't care what's going on the other side of the floor. You don't leave him. It's made a big difference.
Yeah, it's definitely made a big difference. The other night, and again, who's going to step up, be that playmaker now that Draymond Green is out? And just give credit to the Sacramento Kings. Malik Monk has been a nightmare. He's been a nightmare all night, all series long so far. And one thing about Draymond Green, and he also do a very good job of holding everybody accountable too in the locker room. And there was one thing that still stood out to me. It was I don't know if it was this year, but I know it was last year when it was last year when they was on the championship run. He said during the season when they started getting a little lackadaisical and they lost that game to Orlando Magic, he said, I respect Orlando Magic and everything they do, but we can't be losing to the damn Orlando Magic. And it didn't sit right with Draymond Green. And if he feels something is going wrong and the team needs to step up, he's going to send him a message and he's going to let them know. And you need guys like that up on your team, especially for this Golden State Warriors team. He's the one that holds everybody accountable. He's the emotional leader. And unfortunately, him being out may hurt him. When he was out against Cleveland, that one game, that hurt him. When every time he goes out, it hurts him. It hurts Golden State. It takes a nosedive. So we'll see if it hurts him in game 3. Very much could hurt him in game 3 and how it plays out. But
who's going to replace that energy? Who's going to replace that intensity? Because like you said, he's holding them accountable, but also he's the guy that when they're a little lackadaisical, he's in their face. He's saying, let's go. Who's going to replace that? Because that's needed. Maybe this is where Steve Kerr becomes a little bit more vocal in the huddle or on the sidelines.
Yep. So we switch over to the guy on the other side of the ball. I think he probably will give it a go. Due to I think they play tomorrow. I think so. I think he will give it a go. He would probably give it a go. Sabonis is questionable for game 3 with a sternum injury. You think Sabonis will give it a go in game 3?
Somehow I think he's going to be there. I'm banking on he's going to be there. Look, unless it's really, really serious where he can't play, I expect him to be there because they have an opportunity to basically close the door in this series going up 3-0.
Yep. Definitely do. So De'Aaron Fox was named the clutch player of the year yesterday. What you think about that?
Well deserved. And it's big for him, but it's also big for another thing that's big for that Kings franchise. And if you watch them play in the fourth quarter, he's been the best player in the league for most of the season. He's terrific down the stretch of games. He can get to his spots at will. And again, that little 8 to 10 foot jump shot, that's money. You can book that.
Yep. Especially in the fourth quarter.
And he's fun to watch. I mean, first, second, and third gear. Amazingly quick.
Yep. Again, definitely deserves it. Definitely deserved to be the clutch player of the year. He's been knocking down clutch shots all year long in the fourth quarter. But if it was game-winning shots, big shots, he knocked down one late the other night from the top of the three. He knocked down one to put him up 2 possessions. Can't forget about the Bulls game winner that he kind of knocked down as well. So he's been very clutch all year. So you got the next one is Giannis is doubtful for game 2 tonight. He is doubtful for game 2 tonight. Can the Miami Heat go up 2-0?
Absolutely. Just follow the lead of Jimmy Buckets, playoff Jimmy. They can easily go up 2-0. I like what I saw from Jimmy Buckets. Bam Adebayo was a much more aggressive version of himself. The ball was if Strauss and Gabe Vincent are going to hit threes the way they hit threes, along with Jimmy Buckets basically taking over the game and getting to where his spots were, Milwaukee is going to be in trouble. I'll say this for the Bucks, though. Are they capable of winning this game without Giannis? Yes, they're capable, but that means they're going to need a big game from Drew Holiday, not just defensively, but offensively. Another big game from Middleton, and Brook Lopez has got to give them more than 10 or 11 points. They're going to need 3 guys to be up in the 20s or more, and they're going to have to find an answer for Jimmy Buckets. Maybe he's too big for Drew Holiday, too quick for Middleton. Maybe trap him, get the ball in his hands, and challenge somebody else to make a play, because if he's allowed to play one-on-one, he's not going to be stopped.
Definitely. I think they really can go up 2-0 in this series, and I think it's a threat for that to happen, especially if Giannis not like himself, but I think Giannis probably will give it a go in this game. I'm not expecting Giannis to be out. I fully think a decision will be made. Probably at game time that he will be on the court. But even if Giannis be's on the court, I think Miami Heat still give them a little bit of a problems. They gave them a whole lot of problems in game 1. Even when he was on the floor, they had a whole lot of problems with them dealing with Miami. So other than Miami is a one team, no matter how bad they play in the regular season or inconsistent, they're going to always give you a run for your money. In the playoffs. It may not be to the point where they can win a series, but you're going to be wore down by that next round. They will beat you up by that next round. Even if they do make the next round, they can beat you. They possibly any 7-game series Miami in, they will wear you down. They will kind of wear you down, and they will kind of get everything up out of you, especially with Jimmy Butler leading that team. He turns into all world when he makes the playoffs. Regular season, he's this. We already know he's this 3-and-D guy. He's this. He's gonna win, make a defensive team. All defensive team is gonna be an all-star. But in the superstar and in the playoffs, he's gonna turn into that all-world franchise superstar. That's what he turns in, and you need players. Not too many players can say they turn into that in the playoffs. You know, Jimmy Butler turns into that and stepped up when it matters the most in the playoffs. So seen it last night. Seen it the other night, 35 points, 11 assists, can also be a playmaker. And you've seen it the last 2 years he was in Miami when he exhausted himself because he was playing so hard for this team.
That was a great run.
That was great. Hell of a run. He was tired in the bubble. I remember he was tired holding his knees. You never see Jimmy Butler go down like that, but he was exhausted both years. He was exhausted against the Celtics. He was exhausted in that series. That's why he took that.
We talked about this. One of my favorite plays, even though he didn't make the shot, was he took the shot. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite plays. Too often, most guys wouldn't take that shot. He rose up, like you said, knowing he didn't want to go to overtime because he had nothing left.
He had nothing left. He gave it all he got. That game, when that game 6, I think he gave all he got. He gave all he got in that game 6. He gave all he had. And for him to score that much in game 7 too, put all the energy into game 7 and keep them down, put them down by 3 points like that, that's something, man. So I couldn't. A lot of people gave him a lot of shit by taking that 3. But again, he didn't want to go into overtime. He knew he had nothing left. So he said, how about that? I'm going to try to win the game, put my team on his back. If I make the shot, I'm gonna be the hero. I'm gonna be the hero. If I miss it, I know I'm gonna get crucified because he knew he had nothing left. And the player know when they ain't got nothing left. They know when they did all they could. They know when they did all they could. And Jimmy Butler had to force a game 7. He had to force a game 7. He literally had to have a big game and force a game 7 in Miami. He had to force that. And he had a big game in game 7. Unfortunately, he went for the 3 because he was burnt out. He was tired. And it almost went in and just didn't go in. And he did all he could. He did all he could. He did all he could to get the team to that NBA Finals, and he damn near backpacked the team to the NBA Finals. Remember, Tyler Hero couldn't even play in the game. They tried to play him. They found that he could not play on that hamstring. He couldn't even play. He couldn't even shoot in the game. He shouldn't have even been on the court in the game if he knew he wasn't 100%. So other than that,
one more note on that series, Coach.
What?
That people forget about. Bam Adebayo is one of the one centers, because he's not. I think they're very similar. That Giannis can't out quick. He's as quick as Giannis is. So that Giannis's quickness advantage, he doesn't have that with Adebayo. They're almost the same size. It's almost a perfect matchup for Bam. So even a healthy Giannis, I don't think was going to dominate Miami. He was going to play well, but Miami plays him well. They don't give him that space where he can just drive to the basket. They're the best team at guarding Giannis when it comes to putting that wall up. He stays in foul trouble versus Miami, and if he has 4 fouls, 3 of those fouls are offensive fouls. Like, they know how to play to his skill set. So even if Giannis plays tonight, that doesn't mean a win for the Bucks. It gives them a chance to win. But they're going to need Middleton. They're going to need Drew Holiday, and they're going to need other guys to step up to get a win, because right now Miami has a formula of how to attack them when they're on offense. I don't think Miami or Milwaukee has decided, or at least figured out, how to attack Miami the other way around.
Yep. And Dez is in the building. Dez. How you doing, Dez? Think Dez still getting himself situated. We're going to roll it back.
Them clubs, man.
Dez, you need to stop drinking so much, Dez.
Yeah, the clubs, Dez.
I'm not, man.
Dez, it's okay to order soda water, man. It's okay.
No, I'm not out in the clubs, man. I swear, I'm not. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good, Dez. How you doing, man? So
I'm good, man. It's playoff basketball today.
Yeah. So I'm gonna run you back over the stuff that we already talked about. So Draymond Green suspension. He was suspended last night during the Phoenix game. Well, how do you think it will impact how the Warriors play in Game 3?
I think we talked about this yesterday. I mean, he navigates that offense, and Steph Curry, we've seen it in the last game. He really wasn't effective. He was worn down. I think Steve Kerr definitely has to go to the drawing board. Maybe use Jordan Poole a little bit more in that point guard situation there, because he's really like fast and twitchy. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Poole is. And Kuminga as well, coming off the bench and coming as the 4 or the 5 to kind of give you a little bit more versatility with these young guys. Because, I mean, the Warriors are they're kind of old a little bit. Old legs are getting tired. So I think it affects the Warriors a little bit, plus with that cohesion as well. So, and you're already down 2-0. So, this is a must-win game for the Warriors this next game.
Definitely. So you got Sabonis. Will he give it a go in Game 3? He has a sternum. It appears he has a sternum issue by Draymond Green stepping on his chest. Do you think he will tough it out and give it a go in Game 3? They play tomorrow as well, so that's an extra day off for Sabonis.
I say he does, and the only reason why I say he does, it's the playoffs at this point. You want to leave it all on the line, and imagine if you're playing, you have no Draymond Green in Game 3. That team, that could actually spirit a team, I think, in my opinion, and give it a go. Because the sternum injury is really, really, really serious. I mean, it's definitely one of those serious injuries. I just say I think that he gives it a go, gives the team a spirit boost, and they get the win.
If they can end this series early, he can get rest. Like I'm not saying Golden State couldn't turn around and win Game 4, but if Sacramento goes back home up 3-1, they're not leaving home.
They're definitely not. They definitely not leaving home. Golden State hasn't figured it out yet. I thought they would figure out during playoff time how to win on the road, but they still having the same damn issues as they had on the road in the regular season. It didn't carry to the playoffs. It's carrying on to the playoffs. So the Atlanta Hawks, I said yesterday, and we all said yesterday, but really I went even further. Like I said, they don't have a snooze ball in hell to win this series. They don't have a shot. They don't even have a shot. We can all say that. They no chance in hell they win this series at all. Boston is really a way better team, no matter how well Atlanta plays. Atlanta needs to have a goddamn all-world game to beat them, beat Boston. So 119 to 106. What one of the things you saw in that game yesterday?
I could say the Hawks came out a little bit with fire. They came with some fight a little bit. I give them that, and because we all know how much Boston has that firepower, right? So, I mean, even though I was at work, I watched the game. I was actually happy with the Hawks. I'm not even a Hawks fan, but to see that score not as bad as it was in Game 1, right? They came out with a little bit more fight. I give them credit for the fight. At least getting a little bit closer. Because. I mean, right there, that shows a little bit of progress. Hey, maybe I'm not saying you win Game 3, but at least get a game. You're getting there closer. So I think they at least get a game in this series. I think they're close.
I think they got the players to actually get a game in the series. I think having Dejounte Murray, Trae Young should allow you to get a game in this series. You're talented enough to get a game in this series, but a bad way to go out. You're already 41-41. Like I say, we already know who you are. You are who you are. You're a 41-41 team. You are a 500 team. And when someone shows you who they really are, you should be able to believe it, right? Everybody on this panel should believe. You should believe it. And that's who the Atlanta Hawks are. That's who the Atlanta Hawks are. They are 41-41 team. And they showed some progress. So if you can carry some of that momentum on to Game 3 and go back and look at what you've done well in Game 3, Game 2, you should be able to carry that over in game number 3. But we'll see what's happened. But there's
Coach, what do you think? What do you think of Dejounte Murray as a player?
I think he's a great player, man. I think he's a borderline star. I'm not going to say he's a superstar. I think he's a borderline star, but I'm going to call him a very good player. See, I call people like him a very good player. He's not on the star level yet, but I call him a very good player. I call him like close to a star, but I'm going to call him a very good player, man. I thought this team was really going to take a step up with him. I thought they could easily play for the 5th spot in the East from the way the season was starting. That's when they got him. He's a great defensive player. He's a hell of a defensive player. Very long, got the height, can score over anybody, can average 20 points, and he also a very good playmaker what people give him credit for. He was like that in San Antonio. I thought this team was going to take a big step up, especially, adding Sadiq Bey in the trade deadline was pretty big. People ain't going to watch Detroit because they're losing so damn much. So, you don't know who Sadiq Bey is all the way through. But again, hey, I thought this team was going to take another level. Quinn Snyder is a better coach than Nate McMillan. You can really say that. He's had more success over there in Utah. He trades to Utah organization, but you still having the same problems. It's still the same problem. You might well stay with Nate McMillan. You might well stay with Nate McMillan throughout the season. I said this time and time again, you still having the same problems. You're still losing to the same damn teams, even worse teams. Can't lose to teams like that when you have a talented player like a Murray or Trae Young. But then again, John Collins, you've been wanting him out 2 years. I'm surprised they haven't even gave him up. Yet they kept him up on this team. DeAndre Hunter is really good, but guess what? He's not on the floor all the time. He's not.
Can't play. They hurt.
He can't play. You can't do nothing over there in street clothes. So again, you don't got a consistent guys that got cohesiveness. You don't got consistent chemistry on the floor because people are hurt, or either Trae Young is fighting with somebody in the locker room or arguing with someone in the locker room. It makes it hard to play for a person like that. And Trae Young got to get himself together. If franchise gonna want to go anywhere, it's gonna have to start with Trae Young.
Yeah.
And it won't be long. So I think Dejounte Murray don't want to even play with him if this keep going, or it's gonna be long to keep a coach. It's gonna be hard to keep a coach if Trae Young wanted to go out there and do his thing.
I think Dejounte Murray, he's one of my favorite players on the line. He's one of my favorite players. Yeah. I thought him coming to Atlanta was going to have the effect that Drew Holiday had for the Bucks. I think their body styles are different, but I think their skill sets are almost identical. He's a younger, probably more athletic version of Drew Holiday. Not as strong, but he's longer. He's quicker. He's that kind of talent. Like for Atlanta to have the season that they had by adding him, nobody was more disappointed than me because I thought he was going to launch them into being a third or fourth seed.
Yes,
because of what he could do. You look at their talent. I'm just talking about on paper, not what they do on the floor.
Yeah.
Hunter can't stay healthy, granted, but he is a talent.
Yes.
John Collins is a talent that they don't want, but they don't use him either. Like, if you don't use him, how are you going to trade him to other people because he's not putting up the numbers that he normally could put up? Like John Collins, when he's part of the offense, I feel like John Collins, in a way with Atlanta, he's kind of getting the Tobias Harris treatment. Like, instead of getting him rolling to the basket, instead of throwing lobs or letting him finish, they're telling John Collins, go spot up in the corner. He's not a three-point shooter. That's not what he does. He's an athlete. He's a finisher. And when you've got Trey, I'm slipping my mind. It's early in the morning. Trae Young, and you've got Dejounte Murray. You've got two guys that can break the defense down. How are you not able to find John Collins for a dunk or a lob?
Oh my goodness!
Tell him, Mo.
They Atlanta done so bad. They got Mo forgetting about Trae Young.
Yeah, you know what? Now I sound like I was at the club.
It's really disappointing. It's really disappointing to watch this team actually play basketball. But again, Boston Celtics, they're gonna go ahead and put them out of their misery real quick, really quick, and make them continue to make them uncomfortable as well. So again, Desmond, we got a thrashing, ass kicking in game 2, which is, yes, I did have another mercy rule yesterday with this game right here, and it got out of line. It really got out of line. The coach. And Mo said, Coach, mercy rule. I said, hell yeah, mercy rule. And what about 25?
Coach don't play with that mercy rule.
No, I ain't gonna play with that. I don't want to watch no bad basketball. I don't want to watch no bad basketball, no playout basketball. I know some blowouts is gonna happen, but if it's a blowout in the fourth quarter, I might well not even just continue to watch it. Now I will give you a chance, second, third quarter, see what you can do, see can you come back. But fourth quarter, yes, I gotta shut it down.
You gotta put a stop to it, huh?
Yep, put a stop to it. You gotta be the referee in boxing. You gotta put a stop to it before you get the man hurt. So again, they got hurt yesterday. The New York Knicks got hurt yesterday, like we was already discussing. Me and Mo was already discussing. Cleveland came out more physical. They came out more physical. Quentin Grimes, he had a lot of bloody mouths out there. Quentin Grimes got busted in the mouth. It was a time that Jalen Brunson got a little nicked up. Cleveland kind of came out there like a street fight. They kind of beat him up. They kind of heard what we said yesterday. Darius Garland answered the call yesterday, heard what we said on the morning show. I guess Evan Mobley did too, because he played a lot better, but they were more physical. They beat him on the boards as well. Something New York did to them in game 1. What you thought about the game yesterday?
I agree with you guys' take earlier, but we all said it yesterday. They had to be more physical. They came out physical. You are bigs. That's what bigs supposed to do. Get in the paint, get physical, get a little dirty, and don't back down, because when I seen in game 1, we all seen it. When you have players like Josh Hart getting second chance buckets, and these guys they're not like big stature guys. These are like, shooting guard, average shooting guard type body builds, right? Getting boards, crashing boards, pushing the pace. And for Cleveland to get that game yesterday, that was huge, because now you have a series, right? If you would have lost yesterday, you're down 0-2, you lose home court advantage, and then you have to go to New York down 0-2. Now you're down. Now you guys are tied up 1-1. You guys can regroup. You guys know you guys' identity. Be physical, because New York, with Tom Thibodeau's system, he thrives on defense. He thrives on that extra effort. So Cleveland has to get that every night. And the second thing, Garland has to be consistent. That's the biggest key too, because Donovan Mitchell can't. He could do it by himself. We all seen it in Utah. We seen it in game 1. He almost brought him back again. But he needs a supporting cast with Garland, Mobley, and others to just contribute consistently. Because if they can do that, they can win this series for sure.
Yeah, they can definitely do that. So anytime Donovan Mitchell has 17 points, you know you're doing something right. And Donovan Mitchell, you can tell he took a step back. He was giving the ball to Darius Garland, say, "Hey, now you got it. You hot tonight. You hot tonight. I just shoot any open three you give me. I just shoot it." And you never seen Donovan Mitchell really have an open catch and shoot three like that. He had several of them last night. He knocked them down. So when you're getting catch and shoot threes, that makes it easier for you. That makes it easier for you knowing that you can trust your teammates and not have to get every score and everything. So last game for you, Desmond, you got pretty much a fourth quarter thrashing by the Phoenix Suns that put them over the lip, put them over the top. Chris Paul hit a lot of big shots in that fourth quarter. Hit a lot of big shots in that fourth quarter. But what impressed you by the Suns in the game over in the win?
That fourth quarter impressed me. They locked in. They didn't. I mean, we all said it yesterday. They need to win this game, because if you're down 0-2 and you're going to LA has some dogs, man. They have a lot of players. But for them to get in that fourth quarter and just strive to get that lead and just keep the lead and not let it go, I was really proud with that. Proud with Chris Paul hitting some big shots. The bench stepped up a little bit yesterday, which was great. But it has to be consistent. I'm happy for the win with them, but they have to be more consistent because your starting five can be great, but if your bench is not there consistently, there is no chance they can win this series. But I'm proud to win. CP3 came up big, huge shots, man. I mean, from three. So especially for his age, for his age and to knock down at the biggest moments. Because I mean, I remember Chris Paul when he was with the Hornets. I mean, it's been a minute. So kudos to him. The only concern, though, like I said before, the bench, the minutes they're logging right now. I know there's rest in between games, but I mean, these guys are logging so many minutes, and it's the playoffs. But we're talking Chris Paul. They need to get that backup point guard situation figured out immediately because Chris Paul cannot hang with 30, 40 plus minutes every game, So, but kudos to the Suns for sure.
We got the very next topic. And I didn't see, Tom Thibodeau do this a lot. Derrick Rose to his meniscus because he wasn't supposed to be in the game. That's on Tom Thibodeau. Remember that series against Philadelphia when he was prime Derrick Rose, MVP Derrick Rose, the great Derrick Rose. He to his meniscus on the hop step.
Remember that the jump stop,
on the jump stop, hop step, and he to his meniscus. He landed wrong. First of all, he wasn't supposed to be in the game because they were already blowing Philly out by 14 with a minute left. And you kept the damn man in the game when you should have took him out. Julius Randle broke his leg first game of his career against my Houston Rockets. Dwight Howard's debut. He broke his leg first game of his career. Now, last night, everybody knows. No, I'm gonna just say the question. Everybody should know the question right here. It was 2 minutes in the ball game. You're getting beat by 20. And guess what you do? You do Tom Thibodeau. You do a damn Tom Thibodeau thing. And Julius Randle gets a dunk. Jared Allen comes behind him, down to hit his head on the backboard, but he landed down there wrong. Lucky he's okay for that. But you could have got the man hurt again. Could have got another guy hurt. And pretty much, Derrick Rose was never the same after that first meniscus tear. He was never the same after that. And that took away MVP Derrick Rose. Again, he should have been out in that game. The game was already 20 points. He wasn't coming back. He wasn't going to get any momentum going. Just pack it, go to game 3, send him on the bench, but you decide to leave him on the court. Luckily, he's okay. But if he got hurt, Tom Thibodeau was going to have to answer some questions. Now, Mo, what you thought about that?
No, you're spot on, Coach. There's no reason for Randle to be in a game where they're down. The game's over. The game's over. It was actually over. You say 2 minutes. It was over when it was 10 minutes. It was guard. You should have had all your reserves in and start thinking about game 3. You're right. Thibodeau has a history of this. He also has a history of playing his guys 40 plus minutes and wearing them down. His old school way of thinking, it shortened Jakeem Noah's career. It shortened Luol Deng's career, and it cost us maybe a transcendent player, I think, in Derrick Rose. You're right. Once that injury happened, there was never gonna be the same Derrick Rose. It never close to that Derrick Rose. Like that was supposed to be a guy that was going to be an MVP candidate for the next 3 or 4 seasons. Like he was that explosive. People forget, as explosive as Russell Westbrook is, the difference between him and Derrick Rose is Russ doesn't really have a great handle. Derrick Rose had a handle. He could blow by you and bang it on your center. Like they're both explosive, but they're different kind of explosive. Like Derrick Rose was that dude in his prime, and I think Tom Thibodeau robbed us of 6 or 7 more years of that Derrick Rose. Look, and Tibbs got to be smart. Come on, you just have to be smart. You have to think about your players, bro. Because if you lose Julius Randle for the rest of the season, and you go forward, they're going to be talking about why Cleveland beat you in the first round because Julius Randle couldn't finish. I don't understand why anybody would have their starters in the game when there's no chance to come back. That unless you're just trying to stat pad or pad stats, it doesn't make any sense. Tibbs has got to be smarter than that. But Coach, you called it out. He's got a history of doing that.
Yep, that's just what he does. That's just what he does. That's what you thought about
that. Mo hit on great all the points I was going to say, but I mean, why do coaches do this? Tom Thibodeau does this. Mike Malone. I'm a Nuggets fan. We all know, but when we were up, why are you putting Jokic in now? Jokic may not even play today because his wrist. He aggravated his wrist.
Perkins said the stat pad.
I'm like, hey, I don't mind it. I'm like, even Jokic tried to get out the game, but to get back on subject, like, why put a guy in? You're down. You already lost the game. Put your reserves in. Go to game 3. There is no reason. And then, like Coach said, he almost got hurt. He was okay. But look, if that would have happened, that would have changed the whole dynamic of the series, your off season. Because we all know when it's off season and free agency, guys want to know, okay, who can I play with? Who do I want to play with? If you have a guy that's hurt, Julius Randle, who's your go-to? Jalen Brunson? And you see how physical Cleveland was in game 2. That's not going to be your cornerstone. So Tom Thibodeau, he wears guys down too, which I don't like. He's old school, and I know he wants the extra effort, but when you have guys playing 40-plus minutes on garbage time, like Mo said, it did knock Joakim Noah's career. Others that were on that Bulls team, you don't really even see him anymore, So I think Coach has to be a little bit smarter on this. I think he has to look at it from a point of view. Play some of your young guys. See what you have in your reserves. See what you can see, going to game 3. So I just don't like that move. It's dumb. It's 2 minutes left in the game. Why you have the guy in the game? Pull him out. You already lost the game. So that's my take.
You've been lost the game in the third quarter. You actually lost the game in the third quarter, but the game was already decided in the fourth quarter. Pretty much decided. And you're still, the problem is you're still up 20. They still up 20. And he's still in the game. They still up 23, and he's still in the game. Why is he even in the game at that point of time? But again, he robbed it. Like Mo said, he kind of robbed us. And played us and voodooed us out of Derrick Rose's whole career. With Derrick Rose, could have had multiple MVPs. You never know. The Bulls probably could have had a championship at that moment, the way they were playing. And he kind of robbed us of that man's greatness, pretty much. That man's greatness. So again, Tom Thibodeau, this is a Tom Thibodeau thing. And we'll see what happens in game 3. But an interesting thing that went down yesterday, draft coming up for NFL season. So the Los Angeles Rams traded Allen Robinson to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, they gave him away for a bag of cookies. And what has helped? The Steelers got a receiving core, of Keontae Johnson, George Pickens. They also got that tight end I really like pretty much. I forgot the tight end name, but I love the tight end that they actually got. Kenny Pickett as the quarterback. You got Najee Harris right now as your running back. Mo, do this change anything for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Or Pittsburgh gonna just be who they are? A team that's not gonna be bad. A team that's gonna always be competitive. They're gonna always be competitive. If there's anybody I trust Mike Tomlin. They may not be competitive enough to make the playoffs. They're gonna always have a winning record, though. They're gonna always have a winning record, not have a losing season. But does this help the Pittsburgh Steelers with Allen Robinson. Assume that he stays healthy. He only played in 10 games last year, had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. How much did this receiving core actually get better?
Well, first, let's start with Allen Robinson. I think Allen Robinson has been a very good receiver over the course of his career. He's no longer a top 10 wide receiver, but he still can give you production. He's a veteran. I think he's going to be a veteran presence in that locker room. I think Mike T brought him there to work with those younger receivers. I think Allen Robinson's impact is going to be in the locker room as a mentor, showing those guys how to be professionals, working with them on routes, recognizing different coverages. It will help a young quarterback. A young quarterback's best friends are veterans that can still be productive. Allen Robinson can still be productive. Pickett is a talent, but he still hasn't learned how to read defenses. He's still a little bit more reliant on his arm than he is his mind. So you like to think that adding a Robinson, giving another veteran presence, will allow Pickens to develop a little bit more. He's got to take another step in that development. To me, the best friend of a young quarterback, to me, is either a tight end or a strong run game. Najee Harris is a talented running back. You can't really see it because the Steelers have one of the worst offensive lines in football. Yep. Najee Harris is contacted in the backfield probably more than any running back in football. So they've got to work on that offensive line. They got to shore that up. You shore up the offensive line, then you're going to get a 1,500-yard back in Najee Harris. You get a 1,500-yard back, you're going to have a more efficient young quarterback in Pickens. So I think overall the move is going to have a good impact because Allen Robinson is a leader on and off the field.
Yep. Desmond, what you think about this?
When I first heard this move when I was going to work, I was like, are you serious? Like another trade before the NFL draft? But you got to look at the wide receiver class this year. It's not that strong, right? You got some speedy guys, probably some diamonds in the rough. But the Steelers are really young in their offense, like in the wide receiver room. Really, really young. They don't have a veteran presence. So to get a guy like Allen Robinson, Super Bowl champion, right? I believe. Did he win a Super Bowl or no? He didn't win a Super Bowl?
No, I don't think he won a Super Bowl.
I think he came after, but he's played with Matthew Stafford, right? Veteran quarterback, understands offenses, right? Understands defenses. That can help the young guys with routes because you've seen this past season with routes, the wide receivers sometimes were on the same page with the quarterback, changing quarterback as well during the season. Najee Harris, he's been hurt multiple times, but that offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL. So I think this is a smart move, like Mo said. I mean, a veteran presence. He's not a top 10 wide receiver, but he can get you a bucket. If you need a catch, you need that type of yards, you need a touchdown, he got you, and definitely teach those young guys because those young guys they can be upcoming superstars, I say, in the next 3 to 4 years. What they have in their wide receiver core, and I'm a Bronco fan, it's a little bit more talented. I say they're a little bit more talented. Learning the routes is big. And I think Allen Robinson, you've seen it. He is great on route running. So smart move by the Steelers. We'll see what they do in the draft. But they do need to shore up that offensive line because Najee Harris, every time you see him, he's in the backfield getting smacked. And that's not right. He's been hurt with foot injuries, and that's not good at all either, especially as a running back with a foot injury. They need to get a second running back as well. They need to get that number 2 because Najee Harris, he can't do it all by himself. And that tight end, I think is Fairbath or whatever, Big Ben loved him. In Big Ben's final season, he loved the young tight end. So if that tight end can just keep having that same season, be reliable, I think the Steelers can be at least a playoff team.
Definitely on this one. So again, here we go again. I love this story right here, man. We all know what happened to this guy last year. The man almost lost his life on the football field, and for him to able to recover like this and be back playing this coming season, he is clear to play. He is clear to be in off-season workouts. We talking about the Bills safety, Damar Hamlin. Hell of a story. He's back clear to play. Mo, give me a reaction on this, man. The man almost passed away on the football field to the ambulance, got him out of there pretty much. Shout out to those doctors, from getting them back right, getting them back healthy, taking care of them. Him being back at the Bills playoff game, and now he's cleared to play, looking better than ever, and he's cleared to go to OTAs, and he's set to play during the regular season. Mo, your initial reaction on that one?
I gotta tell you, Coach, I was just excited when we found out he was gonna be okay in the hospital.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like my heart dropped like yours probably did when it
yeah, it
happened.
did. Yeah,
But I was so impressed with those first responders, the emergency people, what they did, how they preserved him, got him there quick. So when I found out the news that he was going to recover, he's in the hospital. To me, I was just excited that he was going to have a life, that he was going to go forward and be able to have a life. Now, the fact that he's got an opportunity to not just have a life but continue his playing career,
yep.
I'm just so happy for the young man, happy for his family. It's an amazing story, and I'm rooting for him. I'm not a Bills fan. I'm a Damar Hamlin fan. Like I don't want him to just be able to come back and play. I hope he comes back and plays and makes 4, 5, 6 Pro Bowls. Like I'm just rooting for him and prayers up to him every day going forward. Look, for any player for that matter, whether you're a fan of the team or not, you don't want anyone to have to go through what him and his family went through. So I'm just really excited, and I really hope that his career takes off, because before the injury, anybody that followed the Bills, the kid could play. He's a talented player. So I'm just excited for him and the Bills family.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Des. What's your initial thoughts on this?
It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing, because a lot of people can't play this game, right? To come back from an injury like that, the world stopped, man. I mean, it stopped literally, to make sure, even the whole game stopped. Like, the football didn't even matter at that point. No, it's cute, Mo.
Not really.
But it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing, to be able to come back to the sport in the game that you love. Um, and he's okay. He's cleared to play. You know, like Mo said, the first responders did a heck of a job on the field, in the hospital, getting him back healthy, getting him back right. Um, Him and his family, just the support that he's gotten, and to continue to get with the Bills organization and the world in general, is huge. He's a heck of a talent. I mean, and you talk to people in the Bills organization, he's an upcoming strong safety in that team. You know, so he's definitely a talent, and I hope he makes a Pro Bowl and wins Super Bowl. You know, I mean, that's the ceiling I want for him, because he's an amazing person, amazing player. And just prayers for him and his family as well, continue going forward, because a lot of players, man, I mean, we see it. A lot of players don't come back after serious injuries like that, man. So, for sure.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. That's a huge story, man. A man that almost, passed away on the field, and then now he's back, cleared to play. When his life was saved, I was just happy about that alone. Like Mo said, I was happy that the doctors got him together. He was able to step out, and watch his team play, even though they did lose to the, Bengals. But at that moment, like I say, I was just hoping that he's going to be fine. He's going to go through. And shout out to all the people, that donated to this GoFundMe as well. And he made a lot for that. And to see him back on the field to continue his career.
Yeah.
That's something I'm pretty much sure he wanted. But him just being alive, you'll take that any day of the week for your life, for you to still have your life. Even if you didn't play football again, your life is way more important. Way more important. So I'm happy about that. But again, he wins in both ways. His life is saved, and I'm very happy for that. Excited for that. But he also get a chance to do what he does best, and play football again. So again, shout out to Damar Hamlin. Shout out to those doctors that got him back right. They got him healthy, and that took care of him in that hospital. So again, big shout out to Damar Hamlin. He is ready for OTAs, and he's ready to go out there and do what he does best, and play football for the Buffalo Bills. So other than that, the Philadelphia, this has been a hot topic for a long time on social media, YouTube. If you go around YouTube, especially for the Eagles fan base, will the Eagles take Bijan Robinson with the 10th overall pick? Mo, what you think about that?
The rich get richer. I think they will take him. I think if he's there, I think they will select him. This team, they went to the Super Bowl, but they're built to be a perennial power for the next 4 or 5 years. A lot of talk was made of Hurts's contract, but when you look at the details of the contract, it's cap friendly, it's team friendly. and then you can add a young talent like this to that team. Yes, they need a running back. They need more. They multiple running backs. But that team, the way it's built, they can win with running back by committee. They don't really need a 1,800 yard running back. Not to mention they've got a quarterback who's good for another 700 or 800 yards on the ground himself. Like, I think that if he's there, I expect the Philadelphia Eagles to select him. It's a good pick. It's a good fit for what they do. So I do think they select him.
Des, what you think about it?
The Eagles are pretty smart. This is smart right here. Let's think about it, right? If you draft a young guy, right, in the first, any draft, right? You draft a young guy. Do you know how much money you save in the future, right? The rookie contract is what, 5-6 years?
Yeah.
So, and you see what's happening with all these perennial running backs with contract holdouts and everything. Philly is smart. Even their CEO said it to USA Today. If that running back is there at number 10, they'll take him, or the Alabama running back as well.
Oh yeah.
Because look at it's so smart. They got Rashad Penny already. They have one of the best offensive lines with Jason Kelsey coming back. They have one of the best offensive lines. Now, why not get a running back at number 10? And the money you save, like you said, Mo, is cap friendly with Jalen Hurts' contract. But then think about it. You can develop a young player. You don't have to worry about getting a veteran in free agency and all that other stuff. You have two great running back systems, Rashad Penny, and you get the running back that we were talking about. Literally, they save a lot of money right there. You don't have to worry about cap space. You'll be fine. So Eagles, smart move by them.
Years.
Yeah, and they're building a powerhouse. So they're thinking for now and the future. So Philly, that's a dub right there. The GM, CEO, great, especially with the draft capital they got too. I mean, they have a lot of draft capital. Smart
their
move.
front office are monsters.
Yeah. Monsters. I mean, you see what they did with the Nick Foles and Super Bowl run from then now. And then with Jalen Hurts, like you said, Coach, that quarterback gave you probably 700-800 yards. They remind me of an old school, like, running back team, like college football where you're running the ball. It's going to kind of be like CU. You're more quick snap, hurry, running, spread offense, move the ball to get those linebackers to crash in so you have that space. So Philly, I give a dub on this.
I don't want people to sleep on it. They can run, but they're not running because they don't have a quarterback that can throw them for wins.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is not. I don't want to sound like I'm not a Lamar fan because I am a Lamar Jackson fan, but Jalen Hurts is not just a running quarterback. He's a quarterback who can run, but he's a quarterback first. Like he's not a running quarterback. He's a quarterback. He can throw. He can beat you with his arm. He has learned to read defenses better and better as his career has developed. Like, you don't go out and have the receivers that they have if you didn't think you have a quarterback who could push the ball down the field, who can make all the throws. So the running game for me, for Philly, even with the best offensive line in football, it's a compliment to what their quarterback does.
Definitely. Like I say, Bijan Robinson, the best running back in the draft. It's a possibility he can get drafted at 10. It's a possibility he can get drafted anywhere in the first round. But I believe the 10-ish range, that's Willie will be drafted at. But we'll see. A lot of people for the Philadelphia fan base love Bijan Robinson. Some don't. But we'll see what they're going to happen. They did lose Miles Sanders. Rashad Penny, you can't rely on him too much because he's always hurt as well. So it'll be good to get another running back in there that can stay healthy around that offensive line, who can block as well, who can open up lanes. And along with Jalen Hurts, you got to account for him in the run game too. That's what's going to make it more tougher. So, again, we'll see what's going to happen on draft night. But other than that, we got 3 games that we got to go over for tonight's games. How about we got the LA Lakers looking to take game 2 on the road.
I hope y'all lose. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
It's cool.
I'll be quiet, Coach.
Nah, you good. Y'all already getting started. But other than that, game two, we're gonna go over the results and that will happen in game 1. But in game one, the stats were the Lakers shot 53% from the field, 43% from 3. They were very good from 3. They made 16 threes. They had 45 rebounds, out-rebounded Memphis by 11, 25 assists. They did move the ball around a lot. They had 26 fast break points. They got out of transition a lot. Anthony Davis had a big game. Austin Reeves scored 10 points in a row in the fourth quarter to put the game away. Pretty much. D'Angelo Russell had an inefficient game, but he was solid. He was okay. LeBron James didn't have to do too much, but have 21 and 11. That's all he had to do. And Hachimura had a hell of a game, and you're probably going to need more of that in game 2. So more of that in game 2 tonight to win this game. But everybody wants to know, is Ja playing? We don't know. He's doubtful at this point. We don't know if he's playing. But Mo, what you expect to see out of game 2 tonight for the Lakers? And what do they have to do to go up 2-0 and take full control of the series?
Well, first of all, if they're going to shoot 50, 40, those shooting splits, if they shoot like that again, they're going to win game 2, no matter what Memphis does. I have to think, though, let's stay in reality. Hachimura was amazing. And I get it. I saw Desmond Bain say that was the best game of his life. Let's see if he can do it again. Like, I don't expect Hachimura to give you 28 back-to-back. But what if he gives you 14? Because on a night that LeBron goes for 30 and he gives you 14, it balances out. He just has to be able to make timely shots, because when Memphis rotates, he's going to be open. He's going to be open. Brown's going to be open. They have to be able to make shots. Beasley's got to make shots. If John Morant doesn't play, let me just say this. That doesn't mean Memphis loses. I've seen when Tyus Jones leads them, when he runs the team, they're capable of still winning. So anybody that's a Laker fan or just an NBA fan that just has relaxed and said, it's over if Ja doesn't play, I disagree. I expect Memphis to come out and punch the Lakers in the face. I expect them to play a lot faster, be a lot more aggressive. The question is, can the Lakers take that punch, absorb it, and then respond? Anthony Davis has got to be big again. As long as he's playing big and he's living in the post instead of shooting just jump shots, that's going to impact the game. LeBron was able to coast in game 1, but I think they're going to need a more aggressive, a more impactful LeBron on offense in game 2. For the Lakers to win, it's all about balance. For Memphis to win, they need Desmond Bain, they need Jackson, they need both of those guys to put up big numbers.
Yep. So who are you taking in game 2 tonight, Mo? Who are you taking in game 2?
I'm going to take the Grizzlies. Take the Grizzlies.
Okay. So if Tyus Jones starts and Ja Morant is unable to go, what does Memphis have to do to make sure the series go to LA 1-1? What does they have to do tonight?
Physicality, man. Physicality, but knockdown shots. Your bench has to come up. Dylan Brooks, he has to show up, man. You guys, if your guy's out and Ja's not there and you got Tyus Jones, you got to be that Batman to that Robin. We already know what Jared Jackson give you, right? Desmond Bain, I kind of like the comment that he said with Hachimura, because look, they don't want to back down, but if you don't speak those words, you got to back up your actions, right? They need to be more physical. I say the coach use everybody you can use to shoot, be physical, because the Lakers, they can hang. They can hang. I give you that, Mo, and I give it to Freddie too. The Lakers can hang. They can withstand the storm. They can dictate the pace. The Lakers can, because we all know LeBron can walk that ball up. You see Memphis, they try to run the ball, but you got to come out guns blazing. This is a must-win game for Memphis tonight, because if it goes 2-0 in LA, this series is a wrap. And I'm not even a Laker fan, but this series is a wrap, because when LeBron has a 2-0 series, he is not trying to extend the series. He wants to end the series. And for the Lakers, just be consistent on the bench to get the shooting. Because say the shooting's off, then you're asking LeBron, Anthony Davis, which are just superstars, right, to have big games to close the game out. In Memphis too, don't quit. Keep on fighting. Back up your words. But I say they're going to be like Cleveland. Be physical. I'm not saying Anthony Davis is going to get hurt, but they're going to really bully ball. They're going to do something tonight to definitely bully the Lakers. They're going to get under the Lakers again, but they got to get the win.
I think they were embarrassed by the way they played the last few minutes of the game 1. They coach, don't you think they kind of quit the last?
No, they did. I said it.
Yeah, exactly. Coach, you said they kind of quit. They gave up. Yeah, so I think they were embarrassed by themselves. So I expect the very best version of them in game 3, because they're embarrassed by how they finished that game.
Right. Yep. And their fan base. I mean, when I watched the game, we all seen it. There was a guy with like a popcorn paper bag on his face, but that Memphis crowd is rowdy. They want to win. That team has been to the playoffs, but you're number 2 seed. You need a win, and if Ja does play, spirited athlete, giving all you got, but the turnovers too. Minimize the turnovers because they had a lot of sloppy turnovers too. Just play your brand of basketball. So I go with Memphis on this one. I say it's going to be probably a 6-point game win for the Memphis.
Yeah, when you start shooting uncharacteristic jump shots, and Jared, you never seen Memphis do that. You never seen Memphis just shoot. They were down by 10. They were literally down by 10, 122 to 112. And you just start seeing Jaren Jackson and Dylan Brooks just throwing up 3-pointers from out of space. You start seeing them throwing them up from my house, from where I stay. So when you start doing that, and plus you wasn't getting back on defense, Anthony Davis was getting out in the fast break during that time. Yeah, they definitely stopped. They definitely stopped playing at that time. They were embarrassed. They definitely got embarrassed. And let's hope that don't happen again tonight. But other than that, we do got game 2. So like I say, we all pulling for Memphis right here tonight. We all pulling for Memphis to win the game. So game 2, we got the Bucks and the Miami Heat. Miami Heat need this win. I think Giannis may give it a go. He had a back injury. Last game. But again, we talk about the all-world Jimmy Butler again. The all-world Jimmy Butler. He's a superstar. This 3-and-D player in the regular season. He's an all-star. He's going to make an all-defensive team. But when he gets to the playoffs, he's this all-world Super Saiyan. He turns into Super Saiyan Goku on Dragon Ball Z in the playoffs. Unstoppable. He turned into this unstoppable force, but you do need your player. I'm not trying to be funny, but we all know that's what it is. He turns into that in the playoff, but you need your big player. You need your big-time players. That's what you want. You want your big-time players to step up when it matters the most. And Jimmy Butler, we cannot say that about – we probably cannot say that about James Harden. We cannot say that about James Harden or Carl Anthony goddamn Towns, for God's sake, but you damn sure can say that about Jimmy Butler. You can expect him to show up when the time matters the most. But other than that, 35 points the last game. Bam Adebayo had 22, 9 and 7. Gabe Vincent had 15 in the last game. Chris Middleton had a very good showing in the last game. He had a very good showing, 33 points. Jrue Holiday was inefficient from the field, but his floor IQ was really, really good. Bobby Portis gave him 21 points in game number 1. And also Miami Heat, they were hot. They were so hot. They shot 59% from the field, 60% from 3. That's why they won the game. They were hot all night long. They had 32 assists. They moved the ball around a lot. Jimmy Butler with 11 assists, and also the Bucks actually moved the ball well too. They moved the ball well. It was just Miami made more threes. They made more shots from the field. They made more shots from the field than they did. They basically outshot them. They scored 62 points in the paint. Another thing to look at what they did. And points off turnovers, Miami scored 20 points off those turnovers. So again, Mo, how can the Bucks make sure this game go to Miami, and who you got tonight winning this game?
So if Giannis plays, I have to assume we're going to still get a compromised Giannis. I mean, you don't mess around with the back. There's no way he's 100%. So we're looking at maybe Giannis tonight, if he plays, can give them, let's say, 18 and 12. That doesn't mean they lose. That means he just has to be a factor in another way. I think I said to you earlier, they have to have the Jrue Holiday that can give you 28 points. They need that Jrue Holiday. They need a big game from Middleton and Brook Lopez. But more importantly, as I said before, they've got to find a way to slow down playoff Jimmy Buckets. He was the best player on the floor. My guess is if they let him play one-on-one, he'll be the best player on the floor again tonight. So I'm going to say this. I'll go with the Bucks only because they're the home team. They'll probably have Giannis even in a limited capacity. But I think defensively, because they are a good defensive team, you didn't know it from game 1. A team shoots 60% from the field, basically, and from 3. It says something about them, but it also says something about your defensive effort. So I expect them to put forth a better defensive effort. They got to slow down Jimmy Butler. I'm going to go with the Bucks to win this game.
What Milwaukee, what Miami needs to continue to do in game 2, that they can carry that they did in game 1, and who you got in this series? Who you got winning this game?
So I got the Bucks win the series, But Miami's to be consistent with what they did in game one. Shoot the ball, do what you did. Bam Adebayo, 22 points. And I mean, we've seen Bam can be a little bit inconsistent at times. Gabe Vincent got you some points. Jimmy Buckets, we already know. If you have a supporting cast like that can contribute and help you out in that way, Miami can have a great chance to win this game tonight. I just don't think the shooting is going to be like what it was in game one. I agree with Mo. I think the Bucks are going to come out a little bit more with a lot more physicality, protect home court. If you do have Giannis in the starting lineup, he'll give you 18 and 12. He has to impact the game in another way. Partly assisting, finding guys open, right? Brook Lopez, he's one of the hottest centers, right? In the 3-point, open up spacing. But Drew Holiday, like Mo said, has to have one of those games where, hey, Giannis, take a backseat a little bit. I got you, because a back injury is not something to joke about. If it was a hand or something else, maybe we can have a different story. But when it's a back, you're not going to be as physical getting a rebound. I'm sorry. I mean, you're gonna be a little more tentative. It's a back injury. So Giannis has to impact the game some other way, probably assisting, facilitating a little bit with defensive presence, because he has a super long stature, right? But I say the Bucks win this. They got to protect home court. I think they're going to come out with a lot more physicality. They had to put a way better defensive effort. They know that. So I go with the Bucks in this one.
It's going to be a dogfight.
Yeah, it's going to be a dogfight down the stretch. It's going to be a dogfight down the stretch. And Miami know that Giannis is going to come in kind of wounded with that back injury. Back injury ain't nothing to play with. So if I'm Bam Adebayo and he decides to get physical, I'm going to get physical. I'm going to end up getting physical just because he comes in. That don't mean just show no sympathy. I'm not saying actually hurt the man, but again, if he's going to come in the paint, trying to come in, try to run someone over, and you get physical with him, you just get physical. He's got a back injury. That don't mean hurt the man, but if he's going to, this is a physical game too. This can be a physical game. If Miami can be more physical, than Milwaukee, I think Miami can come out with this win. I'm going to take Milwaukee to win the game because, home court advantage, it does play a part. A lot. It depends on what team you're going against. But I'm expecting Milwaukee. I'm expecting Drew Holiday to have a bigger shooting game than what he had last game. I'm expecting Middleton to stay in behind that 20-point area, to be efficient. I'm expecting Bobby Portis to be consistent like he has been and shoot a high average from three. But the wild card, Brook Lopez. The wild card, Brook Lopez for me. He's a wild card for me for the Milwaukee Bucks. He has to step up and play basketball. If you can give me 17 and 10 or 15 and 10 tonight, I will take it. I can't get 10 points. You can't have 10 points. You can give me that defensive presence as well. I think he's going to be the wild card to make this team go tonight. So I'm going to pick the Milwaukee Bucks. And remember, Brook Lopez is my wild card for tonight for the Milwaukee Bucks. Not saying that Miami Heat can't win this game because, again, Miami Heat is going to always be physical. They'll always find a way to be physical. They're going to Gabe Vincent, somebody's the only problem. Somebody's going to have to step up outside of Tyler Hero. That's the one thing about it. Someone's going to have to step up. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see Duncan Robinson in the rotation tonight for the Miami Heat. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd be in the rotation now that Tyler Hero is out. You got guys like Victor Oladipo on the bench as well that you can also use coming off the bench, and Duncan Robinson. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him tonight after Hero injury. But Brook Lopez have to be the wild card tonight for the Milwaukee Bucks to win this game. So other than that, if you want to raise your hand, who got Minnesota winning this game tonight, because I say, when the hell they win in the series. But if you want to raise your hand, who got Minnesota to win this game tonight, just give me a raise of hands. Yeah. If you got Minnesota winning the game tonight.
I'm joking. No. I think I seen a report last night. I was checking my Facebook when I got home, and they said the risk with Jokic is questionable. And fans, you see the comments, and fans are like, "Oh, sit him. We don't need him." And I'm like, "Man, don't say that." I was like, "Don't say that, man. Shoot." Because
so you saying y'all good with Thomas Bryant starting?
No, man. We didn't need Zeke or somebody else, man. DeAndre Jordan. I'm fine with DeAndre Jordan. I'll be fine with DeAndre Jordan.
Thomas Bryant's a good player. I don't know why he didn't work out in Denver, but he's actually a good player.
He's a good player, but man, him and Reggie Jackson, man.
He's a good player.
Reggie Jackson, man. Oh boy, it's just Man, maybe we should just kept Bones at this point. But
Yeah.
I say Denver because it's already 1-0. They have the home court advantage. Our team is so connected with the cohesiveness that I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not saying we're like dynasty, but like this is a win now team. This is a win now team. You have
Agreed.
Bruce Brown, you have Aaron Gordon, even Coach Malone. I like our coach. He has some fire. He has some giddy up. He said, "Hey, what I like about Michael Porter was he made the extra pass at KCP instead of making that shot. He said, "Hey guys, let it fly, play your game," and they did that. They just got to be consistent, carry it to game 2. And I think Mike Malone, you might see a different rotation for the second unit. You may see a little bit more of the younger guys that we talked about in previous episodes. Bruce Brown, we already know. Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, maybe a little bit more tonight with a defensive presence, because we already know that Minnesota's going to come out swinging. They're desperate for a win. They need to win this game for Minnesota, though, because if you go down 0-2, you go back home, but you're down 0-2. And Denver is a scary team on the road as well. So I go with Denver in the win.
Well, yeah, like I say, ain't no way in hell they win in this series. And why would I trust Karl Anthony Towns when he's supposed to be this all-world elite player and this franchise player for Minnesota, and he studied consistently, let me down in the playoffs and put the knife in my back in the playoffs. And he's been doing it ever since he got outplayed by Clint Capella in Houston. He got outplayed. He got outplayed by Anthony Davis, but that's goddamn Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is better than Karl Anthony Towns at this point. Right now, he's been better. He's better than Karl Anthony Towns. At least Anthony Davis know how to lead the damn team and show up. Know how to show up. At least he know how to do that. That's one thing I can depend on Anthony Davis. That's why I got fantasy, and that's why I won the fantasy championship, because of Anthony Davis. Nobody could beat me with them on the lineup. But other than that, if Karl Anthony Towns going to give you 11 and 10. They're gonna lose the game. They're gonna lose the game 1,000 times out of 1,000. They're gonna lose the game, especially in the playoff scenario. Gobert, he becomes a mismatch in the playoffs. Not the regular season. He becomes a mismatch in the playoffs. He becomes a whooping boy in the playoffs because guys know how to spread him out. People know how to spread him out, and he doesn't want to guard the 3-ball. He doesn't want to guard the 3-ball. So now that leads to you cannot play him in the playoffs. You can play him in the regular season, but you can't play him in the playoffs. You don't got that much. You do. Taurean Prince had an off game. Don't got that much shot making outside of Taurean Prince, or if Karl Anthony Towns on. They know. I think teams are starting to figure when Anthony Edwards do. They know he's a driver. They know he's not that good of a shooter. So now they start packing the paint. They start packing the paint and preparing him to drive to the rim and making him take that shot. He's going to have to develop a jump shot, a consistent jump shot in the offseason. That's something he's going to have to work on if he wants to be an unstoppable force. But I still think he's the Timberwolves franchise player. I just don't think Karl Anthony Towns that franchise player anymore for the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves have to build more around Anthony Edwards than Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns just don't show up consistently enough when you do need him. When you need him, yes, you did that against OKC. Thank you. I'm going to clap my hands. That's a very young team that's up and coming. But when you go up and we talk about when you're going up against the dogs, like the Lakers, like the Denver Nuggets right now, when you're going up against the big man, the big dogs, the grown men, not the little kids, the grown man, you have to step your game up another level. And Karl Anthony Towns just don't do that at all. So, again, no faith in Minnesota to win in this series. I'm not going to say they're not going to win the game. They're going to probably find a way to win the game at home. But again, to win the series, hell no, they will not win this series. Mo, what you got on this game tonight?
Oh, well, first I got Denver winning. Let's get that out the way. No, look, you know what's going to happen. Tonight, Towns is going to go for like 40, right?
Yep.
Tonight he'll go for 40. And then the next game he'll go for 10.
Yep.
Look, I expect Denver to win because they're the better team. Even if Towns gives you a good effort, the Denver Nuggets are the more balanced. They're the better team. For Minnesota to win, Towns would have to be on. Edwards would have to be on. Edwards would have to actually do what you said, Coach. He's got to be able to make jump shots consistently. And right now, you called it. Teams are loading up because they know he's more of a slasher than he is a jump shooter. They're not afraid of his jump shot. They're going to give him that all day. Taurean Prince is more of a catch and shoot guy, but he struggles at times. And then when Gobert's on the floor with Karl Anthony Towns essentially becomes a jump shooter because of the spacing. Gobert he kind of hurts Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns because he cuts off the driving lanes.
Yep.
You know where he's going to be because he's a zero range player. So I think their coach is going to have to stagger their minutes. You got to get out of that twin tower mode and stagger their minutes, and you'll probably be better off because you'll have more floor balanced. Bottom line, I think Denver wins tonight. They go back to Minnesota up 2-0.
Yep, and again, there's no knock on Karl Anthony Towns. He's a good player. He's a very good player. But again, when your team needs you against grown men, I mean, not young guys, not little kids. That's 18 to 19 years old. Those are young guys. They're still kids. They're gonna get better during the year. But we're talking about grown men like a Anthony Davis, like a Nikola Jokic, who's a 2-time MVP. We talking about grown ass men. You need to step up. Just like you as a grown man, you need to step your game up. That's when your game supposed to up and up another level right there. So it's good to that you got this team in the actual playoff against kids. That's good that you did it. The kids that don't got experience, but now you're up against a grown man. And again, we've seen you thousands of times, plenty of times, not step up to the plate against a grown man. When you had a chance to go up against a grown man, you didn't step up. So other than that, we will see what's going to happen tonight. I will be doing that game tonight. I will be on post live during that game and for the Lakers game as well.
I'll do both with you, Coach.
You'll do both. I mean,
I'll do both, man. I'm all for
right,
it today, man.
I still got it over that, Diz. I got you just in case.
I'll be in the chat. All right,
just in case. And if y'all figure out a way to wet the bed, Mo will be in the chat, right? Mo got you, right?
Oh yeah, Mo gonna be in the chat, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if you're gonna wake up out of bed. We'll see you gonna wake up out of bed after on Thursday morning. Upon that, we'll see if you're gonna wake up out of bed upon that. It's been a great show, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit that share button for us, man, on Facebook. Mo, tell the people they can follow you at.
You can find me here at Empire Sports Network, and I'll be dropping an episode of NBA Cypher later on this afternoon.
Got you. Make sure y'all tune in to that, man. He be breaking down his all defensive and his first team. Hey, I'm calling Shai Gilgeous-Alexander DFox should be on the first team right now. I'm definitely calling that right now. I'm making an announcement to the front office on that later today. But other than that, Des, tell the people they can follow you at.
It's a great episode, man. You guys can follow me Desmond 2015234 on Instagram, Facebook, Empire Sports Network. Definitely like, subscribe on the show, guys. Definitely we'll do like a playoff giveaway like next show. I'll definitely announce it, see what it is. But definitely tune in to Coach tonight. We'll definitely do the play-by-play because it's fun, man. Me and Coach, we got something brewing, man. I love it. So
Hey, man, you take a lot of pressure off me. A lot of pressure off me on the play-by-play. So anytime, you just welcome. You hit me up. But other than that, y'all can find no introduction. Y'all can find me right here and on my channel. You can find me at pretty much right there. So I will be on tonight. But tonight and later for the Kings game. And not the Kings game, but the Lakers, Memphis, and I will be on later tonight. Y'all may see Desmond with me for both games, so y'all into a fun view. So make sure y'all hit that like, that follow, man, and we will see y'all guys at 6:30 later today. First game of our doubleheader: Lakers versus Memphis. Then we got Dallas versus Minnesota. And Karl Anthony Towns, you gotta show up, man. Show up against these grown ass men, man. Show me that you a stud at putting this league, man. Please
go Nuggets, man. We got game too.
You ready?
We'll see y'all later, man. Y'all have a good rest of your day, man. See y'all at 6:30. We up out of here, y'all.